And we're back. Today, we are revisiting the For the Win 3, and we're going to check to see if outsourcing to China is viable. Hey guys, welcome to Frame Chasers, and today we're going to be taking this apart again. The goal of today's video is going to be kind of twofold, actually. We're gonna check to see if the Bykski Waterblock, like, even fits. Like, I don't know. The long story short, the reason I got this one was the Optimus was out to lunch with pricing. Nobody should be paying $500 for a Waterblock. EK took too long to make it, and this one came out on AliExpress. And this one was $140 shipped with a backplate. So this is like, this Bykski block is half the price of an EK one, and the EK one is half the price of the Optimus one. So this was literally $140 shipped. So goal number one, let's see if this even works and if it fits. Goal number two, I'm going to revisit the power load balance, rebalance the load balance with using double shunts on this. It should work much better with the acrylic part here. Let's see if we can actually remove the power limit on this thing and rebalance it to the 8 pins, right? Okay, step one. I finished re-gluing the double shunts on there instead of the single shunts. Okay, pause for step number two. The instructions for this thing are so bad. There basically are not any instructions at all. So, do not get the Bykski model if you're a novice, or yeah, just if you're a novice, just don't do it. Okay, so it did fit. It did. Pros and cons of the install so far. Even though it's a full cover water block, it doesn't cool the chokes. It doesn't actively cool the chokes. The divot on the inside is actually so large, it doesn't touch the chokes. But you can stack 10 millimeters worth of thermal pads to actively cool them. Now, second con. You see how I put the thermal pads to push down on the shunts there? 10 millimeters thick, baby. I had to cut 5 2-millimeter pads and stack them on top of each other to make it sandwich on the shunts. So if I take this thing apart again, I'll probably just solder it. It's a little bit of a shit show. Other than, oh, and also the thermal pads that they give you, you need 1 millimeter thermal pads. I'll go over the thermal pads I use at the end of the video, but the ones that they give you, you can't just use those for everything. It doesn't work. Other than that, though, the pros, it's $140, and it fits. All right, we're going to finish the video up here for this last part. The shunt mod doesn't seem to have worked. Like the GPU Z readings are just all over the place. Like the third pin pulls way less power than the other two. The PCI Express slot pulls the same power as these ones. The readings are, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that the shunt didn't work. Like stacking that many thermal pads on the resistors, I'll have to revisit this when like the 3090s are abundantly able to be purchased. You know what I mean? I can't risk my card right now because I can actually buy another one if I screw it up. So I'm gonna revisit this when I can actually buy another card and use this one as a guinea pig. But in the meantime, in terms of the Bykski cooler's performance, let's check this out here quickly. So right now we're drawing 30 watts on the 12 volt rail. So let's do a stress test here. Graphic stress test. OCCT is quite heavy. This is like fur mark territory. That's why I put it to shader complexity 1, GPU usage 90. Let's check this out here. So yeah, 600 watts we're pulling on the GPU right now. And 49 Celsius? Right? So it's not quite as good as the EK. It's about 2 or 3 degrees worse than the EK. Big deal. This thing for half the price, you get a 2-degree worse performance. And it might just be like the way I mounted it too. Like it might not just even be like the cooler's problem. It might just be like I used some crappy thermal paste or something. Like it could be anything, you know what I mean? But like 600 watts, 50 Celsius. Fantastic. Cannot complain with that. You finally put a Bykski block in for the Win 3. Yeah, I just did last night. Yep. Works fantastic. Fantastic. $140 shipped. The temperatures are the same as the EK. Though, oh, you know what? The only thing I don't like though, we can talk about that for a second. I'll actually, this would be good to talk about because I can recut this for my video later. But I just, oh yeah, what I was saying about the Bykski block. Let me move the camera over. Actually, let me show you. If I can move my camera. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. That's $140 water block. Bykski 3090 for the Win 3. Dude, that looks fucking sick. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I got an extra 100 megahertz. Oh, look at the thermal pads I had to stack on the shunts. Dude, look at that shit. Look at that. I had to, dude, it works though. I get 1.1 volt locked to 600 watts, so it works. It works, right? But dude, I will never buy it. Is this the camera angle correct here? I'll never buy EK or anything like name brand ever again, dude. Fuck that shit. Bykski has my business for life. There were no instructions though, at all. 0 instructions. There we go. That's better. That's how it should be. Yeah, okay. No instructions. The thermal pads they give you were wrong. They give you like 10 different types of screws that you don't use. I'll post. I should have the video done the next day, but when I post the video, it's like I first thing I say is like not recommended for novices, dude. Just don't do it. It is not a novice water block. At least EK get the instructions and the proper shit, right? I had to use half of my own thermal pads on it. Let me catch up here. Hang on. The Bykski block. So it works very well. The problem with it is it's similar to an Alpha Cool one where, where's my paintbrush here? Here's the, how do I do this? This is like the top acrylic part, right? And then this is your VRM contact point. This is where the chokes go. Choke. And this is where the caps go. Cap. And then it goes down to memory here. And then it goes down to the GPU core here. Memory again. And then big space for the caps and chokes. And then down to the VRM. So the contact points for the Bykski are the same as an Alpha Cool one, where it's only contacting the VRMs, only contacting the RAM, and only contacting the die. That kind of sucks. That I don't like. But it's not like the Alpha Cool one where this is acrylic here. This part here still touches, it's still metal, it's still copper, this part. So what I ended up doing is I took 10 millimeters of thermal pads and just put it here. I just fucking layered that shit just to make sure that the chokes were touching the copper. I just did that shit myself. It works fine, works great. So
So actually, so you can see I still have a problem here somewhere. One of the power phases is too high because I have the thing mining. I've had it mining this whole time, right? So I'll probably have to figure out which sensor this is at some point. But it doesn't even hit 60 Celsius while gaming anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the fact that one of my power sensors is higher than the other ones is a little concerning, right? So I don't know what the hell that shit is. Probably something to do with that Lumi video as well, right? But yeah, the Bykski block works fucking great, dude. What else was I gonna say? The thermal pads they give you make no sense. The thermal pads that you have to use for the memory is 1 millimeter. The thermal pads that you have to use for the VRMs is like 1.5. So I was literally sitting there the whole day trying different thermal pad configurations, trying to like make it sandwich the die and work there's no instructions, there's no thermal pad, like they just give you a bunch of like 2 millimeter thermal pads. They didn't work. Like it's just like whatever it is. It's a Chinese product. You go like I didn't buy a Chinese product to expect it to come out of the box working, right? But after a full day of fiddling, $140 shipped, man. Solid. Zero problems, man. $140 shipped. There's just these little oddities like this 10 millimeter thermal pad shit and changing all your thermal pads to your own after. So other than that though, I'm okay paying $140 just for like the copper and the back plate. I can do the rest myself, man. I don't care. I don't need instructions. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be going Bykski from now on for sure, dude. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. And if you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Do all that YouTube SEO stuff. Like, share, subscribe. And if you want me to test more cheap Chinese stuff, comment down below what you think. And see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later.